Is Superman super woke? James Gunn, the director of the latest reboot movie, said, quote, Superman is the story of America, an immigrant that came from other places and populated the country. But for me, it is mostly a story that says basic human kindness is a value and is something we have lost.
Conservatives are upset because Superman is apparently going woke, or maybe the character was inherently woke all along. Well, now, because of what director James Gunn had to say about the character and the film, conservatives are threatening to boycott the movie. They don't love that Gunn said that the story is inherently political because the right loves to pretend that everything is not political. The movie isn't even out yet, by the way, or I think, is it out or maybe it just came out? But unless these specific members of the media or people who got to see advanced screenings of the thing, they don't really know what they're talking about. So here's some of what was said about the movie on right-wing social media. So this first one says, I'm going to skip seeing Superman now. Director is an absolute moron to say this publicly the week before release. America is desperate for apolitical entertainment and Hollywood is unable to deliver it. And another one said, the communist is always a communist first. Everything else is second. It's why Hollywood will put out flop after flop, and yet they still refuse to stop doing this. If you're a movie director, making a great one is not as important as the revolution. I don't even know. See, it's also crazy. Okay, well, James Gunn isn't exactly woke himself. I doubt the left is trying to claim James Gunn. He is a horrible person. He is so horrible that I didn't even want to include his horrible tweets in this segment because I didn't want to read them out loud. He did eventually get fired from Marvel for being terrible. Again, not one time terrible, but like repeatedly terrible. And it's honestly kind of shocking that DC is still involved with him. I think he's pretty entrenched in the studio, but still, like, it's probably time for them to separate from him. Personally, I was not planning to watch this movie because I am tired of watching different versions of the same movie over and over and over again. I am actively boycotting remakes and sequels, especially sequels that come out 20 years after the original. But again, that is a personal thing. Although I do invite you all to join me in my personal vendetta against like bad movies. But like they're trying to monetize nostalgia and they're delivering slop in exchange for it, and I resent them for it a little bit. But they're not producing flops just because they can't not be communist. They're going for money grabs. It has nothing to do with communism. It's very strange how they always end up at communism. Like the simplest explanation is usually the right one. I don't know what communism has to do with any of this. Also, James Gunn is the one, he got rid of Henry Cavill. He said, no more Henry Cavill, we're gonna hire this other guy instead. And I can't say I'm happy about that either. The people want Henry Cavill and no one will just give us Henry Cavill. Like no hate to Liam Hemsworth or whoever this new Superman is, but give the people what they want.
I saw the poster and thought it was Henry Cavill, honestly.
It's not. It's just like, see, it's always just like a lesser version of what we once had. That's all that we get.
I miss the right that used to decry trigger warnings and hurt feelings, and I miss the people that were just so tough that nothing could bother them or hurt them. And Clay Travis is a complete and utter fraud and idiot. And the reason why I say that is because there are no apolitical Hollywood movies, and there never were. The fact of the matter is, when you're watching Top Gun, what you're watching is propaganda for militarism. That's political. That's not Top Gun is not apolitical. They're propagandizing you into loving the military industrial complex, imperialism, American hegemony. Like it's literally propagandizing you. So much of our TV and movies are very, have positive feelings about commercialism and consumerism and capitalism and spending and consumption and all of this stuff. That's political. It's not apolitical. None of the media we consume is apolitical. Yeah. So not only is Clay Travis an idiot, he's a fraud and doesn't even know anything about the movies that he complains about.
I mean, they are kind of dumb, right? Like to say that anything is apolitical is a dumb take because anything can't, it's all a matter of the lens, right? It's what you take out of it. It's what you see whenever you consume any kind of art or media or whatever. And the thing is, like, You mentioned Top Gun. Somebody actually, there was another criticism. I didn't include it in the story, but there was somebody else who said, why is James Gunn trying to make this story political? Like, why can't we just have something that's like no politics involved? Like Top Gun, like the remake of Top Gun that came out. It was just like a good time. And I was like, are you joking? Like, are you joking? Yeah. And it's true. I mean, like,
dude, the Jason Bourne
I
movies.
can't watch You've Got Mail anymore, because it's so creepy.
CIA agents know how to fight. They speak 8 different languages. They know how to. They're really good in bed. They're like, it's like, give me a freaking break. Like, if that's not CIA propaganda, I don't know what is.
I mean, who's saying this? If they're really good in bed, it's like who's involved in this project? What's
movies.
In it for you?
Matt Damon, he's a killer in those movies. I'm telling you.
Matt Damon, how many times do we have to save you from space? I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.